ImpactX.
We're getting towards 500,000 women's symptom profiles. We call it the next generation of menopause and perimenopause self-care. We say kind of basically a personal trainer for your menopause in your pocket. We have just some incredible feedback. The way that we've developed the product is using vast amounts of research. That really does set us aside from a typical supplement. Tracking and understanding your triggers can go a long way to support you really understanding and mastering your menopause, which is a really, really tricky thing to do because it's so complicated. So I wanted to design and develop something that would support women with their experiences of well-being, right from your first period through to your last and well beyond as well. We've used ImpactX to really understand and gain experience for the experts that they have within their organisation, and there, if we need them, has just been really useful for us. What really sets ImpactX apart from other VCs is that you've got a number of people in that organisation that have actually been there, built a company and sold it. So I think often it can be quite a lonely place running a business and being an entrepreneur. So yeah, it's really valuable to have those connections through ImpactX.
Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kate Bache, and I'm the co-founder of Health & Her alongside Gervais Bay, my fellow co-founder. We actually met when we were working in industry at a really large FMCG company, and we've used our experience between us, over 30 years worth of experience in sales, marketing and innovation in consumer health products to develop Health & Her to where it is today.
Why is Health & Her the best on the market?
I believe that Health & Her is quite different to the competition in a number of ways. First and foremost, we offer the app, which is really appreciated by women. They feel like they have this personal trainer for menopause in their hand, in their pocket. And also our formulations, we have just some incredible feedback from our formulations. And we believe the reason for that is the way that we've developed the product is using vast amounts of research. So when we first launched Health & Her, we have a symptom tool on the website where we understood tens of thousands of women's symptom profiles, which we aggregate and anonymize to protect their data. But we did lots of work, data scientists in the first instance, to really understand where we needed to focus our supplements in terms of nutrition and supporting the different elements and experiences of women going through perimenopause and menopause. And it was really that research that we feel gives us an edge in terms of the way that we formulate, and we're supporting women with those products themselves. So that really does set us aside from a typical supplement that you might find in other areas and some of our competitors within menopause itself.
Could you describe Health & Her's customer journey?
Our most common customer journey is actually the first point of contact we're finding most women have is through word of mouth, which is obviously incredible for us. In particular, our hero product, which is our perimenopause multi-nutrient support. This product is just so loved by our consumers that we get a huge number of women telling their friends about the product itself and how much they've enjoyed using the product and what difference it's made to them. So that's the first port of call. Hopefully then that means that they will come and check the product out either on the website or in any of the retailers that we're in. So we're in all the top retailers in the UK, a couple in the US, in Ireland as well, and in the Netherlands. We're also extending into Germany at the moment. So availability is really key. They're able to find the product. They're also able to find it online on our website and on Amazon as well. So really good availability of the product. Hopefully then they're looking at the product and on the packaging itself. You really encourage them to download the app to use in conjunction with the product. You don't have to, but we believe it helps. From that point onwards, we're obviously able to communicate with the supplement users. I think what really sets us apart actually is the app allows us to build that relationship with them, provide them with the app itself, but also with some really great content, and allows us to stay in touch with them and understand how they're getting on. So that really sets us apart in terms of strategy as well, and how we operate with the customer, build those really deep relationships. And we're definitely seeing that pay off in terms of loyalty with the products themselves.
How do you develop products and ensure they meet customer needs?
I wanted to design and develop something that would support women with their experiences of well-being, right from your first period through to your last and well beyond as well. So that's where we started Health & Her. Immediately went into lots of consumer research, which is obviously really critical for starting a business and understanding your consumer and the opportunity even more. And it was during that research, we did a lot of in-depth research one-on-one because it's quite a tricky area to talk about actually in groups. And we found that menopause in particular and perimenopause was so acutely felt by women that we decided to make that our focus for health and hair initially. That's not to say that I think the brand can definitely move into other spaces, but the biggest opportunity and where women needed the most help at that point was definitely in the area of menopause. The big shift in well-being that happens during that period of time for women.
In what ways has Health and Hair's community of users shaped the evolution of products and services?
Lots of work goes into it and a huge amount of effort actually, and we're continuously adding to our portfolio of products. We are, as a company, hugely driven by data. We have vast amounts of insights. We're getting towards 500,000 women's symptom profiles, which has been gathered through both the app and the website, which again, we use in an aggregated, anonymized way as big data to understand what experiences they're going through and how, with certain nutritional claims, but also activities within the app, how do we actually best support those women? So we absolutely start from a point of data. We also interrogate literature and scientific papers. That's also a really important part of what we do. We have a team that just works on that side of things, just doing the research. And within that, we look at things like big nutrition survey amongst this group of women. So what are women not getting enough of in their diet? So that's also a really important factor to build into supplement formulations. We also utilize expert nutritionists. It's really important to bring that level of experience into the formulation process, because often what they see when they're actually practicing nutrition, they have really interesting views and techniques of understanding how to get the best out of the product itself. So yeah, finally, we're looking specifically at new ingredients all the time. So it pulls back to some of the literature, but we have a variety of different experts that we're able to feed into that. The technical experts, for example, the way that the product is delivered. We have a probiotic supplement, for example, that has a capsule that is stomach acid resistant, which is really important. We're also thinking about the way that the product's actually delivered into the gut. There's a huge amount of thinking that goes into a product itself, all from a place of data and research. We have so many different routes of feedback, and we're commonly going out to our customers to speak to them as well about what they like and dislike about the products, how we could potentially improve the supplements. We very closely monitor all of our reviews, particularly on the app. On the app itself, we had some really great feedback about a year ago around the period tracking, a bit clunky, wasn't really working for women. And often women are using period trackers in their 30s, early 40s. They're then coming into menopause. They want something that is slick. So we then have spent a huge amount of time really finessing that particular feature. In fact, we completely rebuilt it and we've just launched it actually in January. So we're really excited to see that we're actually getting those same women feeding back and saying some really, really positive things about that improved feature. We're actually quite obsessive about how we listen to consumers. It really drives the motivation of the team as well. So we're really keen to share great insights and feedback on the products in the app all the time, because it really does motivate you when you can see the difference that we're making to women.
How has the ImpactX partnership gone beyond funding?
Yeah, a number of ways actually, especially on the tech side. We've used ImpactX to really understand and gain experience from their past exploits into entrepreneurship. In particular, we've really used them as a sounding board on our development strategy, building the team, how we best approach UX and agencies on that side of things. Also, how we structure and strategize our kind of funding rounds and how we move forward on the investment side. That's been a really critical part of their support as well. So yeah, lots of different ways. What really sets ImpactX apart from other VCs is that you've got a number of people in that organization that have actually been there, built a company and sold it. So I think that has been just incredibly refreshing for us. We can really learn from the pitfalls and the successes that they've had. And I don't think that's particularly common within the VC world.
Can you explain the app's technology and how it assists women?
The app itself has a number of different support functions. One area that's absolutely critical, and we know this from a huge piece of research that we've just completed, is actually just tracking what you're going through and what potentially triggers that experience, essentially. So we've actually published a study on the importance of tracking for these types of health conditions. So that's really the foundation of what the app can do for someone initially, is just tracking will improve how you feel, which is really interesting. The health psychology around that is really exciting. What sets us aside actually as a menopause app is that we have all of these incredible tools, digital tools, which support you to build habits in your daily life. So these are literally just taking a couple of minutes out 3 or 4 times a day to do your pelvic floor exercises, use CBT to support, for example, with hot flushes. We also have some incredible reminders for general health. So we have a self breast check that reminds you every month and takes you through a really good process of how you do that. So that's something that's really important, something easy for us to do to support women. And then finally, we have a really good insight section. So it starts to help women understand how their body is reacting to things like triggers, for example, or different actions that they're taking with supplements or other treatments that they might be using at that time. And then finally, all of the learning and the articles as well. So we've developed the app in a very holistic way, so women can pick and choose how they use the app, but there's a huge amount of content there, so you can personalize that to your own experience.
Tell us a customer success story and how you made an impact.
Yeah, so the one that really sticks out for me is about 6 months ago, I was in my local town, which is quite small. I was at a restaurant with my family and we got chatting to a couple who also lived locally to us. And we asked what we did for jobs and got chatting. And the lady actually couldn't believe that I built Health and Her because she'd been a loyal customer to us for 3 years, actually. So she'd been taking our perimenopause product and using the app. And both her and her husband said simultaneously that we'd saved their marriage. And she told almost every one of her friends, and he'd also told all of his friends, which is incredible. Yeah, just like one of those moments where you feel like the brand has really got to a wide audience, but is obviously making a huge contribution to people's lives. We do hear these stories like on a regular basis, but to actually come across someone face to face, kind of pure luck, was really impactful for me, the rest of the team, when I kind of replayed it back to them.
What's next for Health and Her?
I can't tell you too much, but we've got a number of exciting innovations in the pipeline. And again, we have huge amounts of insights and data that we're working with at the moment to progress those. So yeah, there's definitely new supplements coming, which is really exciting. We're also looking a little bit more broadly than that as well into supporting some of the women that are a bit younger as well in premenstrual space. So lots of really exciting innovation coming, all based on the data, the huge amounts of data that we have.
Has ImpactX's portfolio provided a platform for collaboration and networking?
Yeah, definitely. We've got some really good contacts here in Cardiff in particular that have also been supported by ImpactX. And often it's actually just really nice to share ups and downs of running a business. Having those contacts locally is really good. We also have access to the wider network across the UK with ImpactX as well. So yeah, it's really valuable. Often it can be quite a lonely place running a business and being an entrepreneur. So yeah, it's really valuable to have those connections through ImpactX.
How would you describe the team at ImpactX?
It's been a really approachable relationship that we've had with ImpactX, one that is very open, always willing to support. And I think that's just been a really enjoyable experience for us. We prefer that style of working with investors, but knowing that ImpactX and, as I said, the experts they have within their organization are there if we need them has just been really useful for us.
What message do you have for female entrepreneurs?
First of all, get a co-founder. I think that's just really valuable. It doesn't matter the gender, but I think having been both a sole founder and a co-founder, the benefits psychologically from having a co-founder are well worth it, as well as the skill set and the strength that gives you. I would really clue up on how to deal with certain question types in investor discussions. I always forget the name of it, but there's a really good TED talk actually that you can have a look at that talks about the bias that women get within those types of discussions. So yeah, I'd really clue up on that. And I think, as with any founder, really, make sure that you know your strengths, but even better, know your weaknesses so that you can bring the right people in to support with those.
ImpactX.